So hi, my name is Kevin. Um, how many of you know that volunteers have their own recognition week? By show. Okay, well they do. They have their recognition week on the month of April for all the hard work they do and like the hours they put into um, their specific field. Um, so these two themes, this shirt and this shirt, um, represent the commitment volunteers take on, the willingness they have to be of service to others, and the passion they put for doing what they do. These two shirts represent a sense of identification. So they tell others they could be like us um, and join us, helping the community to make it better. The badge states like some sort of distinguishes us and is a part of like identification because it tells other people that if they need help, we can be there to help them. So that's it. So by better understanding what it means to be a volunteer, we could get a rewarding feeling as we work our way to help other people. So first I'll give you history about how volunteers came to be, and then I'll tell you why I identify with this culture. So according to volunteermatch.org, the American value has been, volunteer has been a part of the American value since the 18th century. So once again, according to volunteermatch.org, President Benjamin Franklin established the first firehouse volunteer establishment in the mid-1700s. So volunteers were needed as a form of help during times of war, as they provided aid to the soldiers. They were also helpful to the common people in times like the Great Depression by distributing meals and other resources. American Ladies Aid Society and the Red Cross Association were established later on in the mid-1800s, for the same reason, to help people. Today, there are tons of places where one can volunteer. Some of the most common places that volunteers are greatly needed are at food banks, homeless shelters, nonprofit organizations, hospitals, police departments, and fire departments. Some of the most common traits that we as volunteers have is that we're passionate for what we do. We're caring, and we put other people's issues before our own. So now that I've given you a little bit of history about how volunteers came to be, I will now tell you why I strongly identify with this culture. So I have been a volunteer for two organizations. First one is City Year, and how I got through City Year was it was in middle school. One of the City Year representatives came up to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the City Year Young Heroes program. City Year Young Heroes program is basically a community service based organization, and it's nonprofit. So every time we would gather in downtown LA every Saturday, we had some sort of volunteer activity. So sometimes we went to food banks, other times we went to schools to paint murals, and we also went to like beach cleanups and that sort of thing. So with that, I felt like I was really making a difference, and whenever I wear this shirt or the City Year shirt, I feel like I tell other people like this is where I come from, this is what I like doing, and it's just something that I'm passionate about. My sophomore year of high school, I started volunteering at LACUSC Medical Center, and I did that for about 2 years. The first year, So I left and then I came back. So the first year I volunteered at a patient. The second year I volunteered at a patient work. The first year I volunteered in childcare. So when I walk through the hallways, I got asked like many questions, like, oh, where's this department, or where is this building, or where is so and so. So that's what I like doing. I like giving information to others as I walk around the hospital. Um, and it was, I don't know, it's just something that I really like. Um, so how did I come about helping others? When I was in elementary school, I like asking like for help constantly, and when I would ask my cousins, they wouldn't help me. They wouldn't bother looking at my homework, and that feeling was one of the worst feelings I had because I thought they were like my family, and they were willing, or they should have been willing to help me out. So ever since that day, like I dislike when people are when people need help and they don't obtain it. So that's why I like doing what I do. Um, so now that you understand what it is that I like doing and that I identify with this culture, hopefully you'll get a better idea of the volunteering world. First, I give you guys a little bit of history about how volunteers came to be, and then I gave you some information about my volunteer experiences. And then one thing I've always said is that not everyone could volunteer, but if you do, it's like such a really rewarding experience, and there's only a certain amount of people that have the time and patience to do